All right, so first of all, before we get to this Dragon Ball Daima review for episode 1, I want to let you all know that if the audio sounds a little bit weird, it's because I am not in my home office. Florida was hit with this giant hurricane Milton, and I don't have power at my place, so I've had to relocate where I work. So please forgive this audio. Whenever I get power back, I can go back and work, and everything will be better in my home office. So please forgive me. Also, there would be a slight delay on these reviews because of the fact that I saw some of this episode on Fuji TV unsubtitled, but also because of the storm, I'm not using the fastest internet like I have at home. So just please be cognizant of that. And I will do my best to get these videos out to you as fast as possible. Just, have some patience, and I would really appreciate that. And I know you guys usually do, so it's all good. Let's talk about Daima episode 1. So, first and foremost, this episode this felt more like a movie than an episode because there was no traditional anime intro, which I've heard a lot of anime do nowadays, like Sandland did it. And so it felt more like a film where you had credits in the front and things of that nature. And of course, as we reported, the episode begins in the Demon Realm with Gomah and Degesu watching the events of the Buu Saga. Now, I want to first discuss the incredible and beautiful art in this show. Look, we knew that Toei was going to get the heavy hitters, Kubota, Nakatsuru, but basically they showed scenes from the Majin Buu saga, from the Majin Vegeta sacrifice, Buu betraying on Babidi, the Gotenks and Gohan fight. Dude, this was all animated by Chikashi Kubota, the same guy who did Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And if you remember, at the very beginning of that film, they had that sort of recap of the Red Ribbon Android stuff. This was like that. But my God, as much as I love the animation from Dragon Ball Z, if they ever decide to redo the entire thing from scratch, Dragon Ball and Z, if they ever decide to reboot the series from the very beginning, this is the guy that I want to do it. The Buu Saga looks so incredibly gorgeous. Every single frame of this. Kubota is an absolute monster, guys. Seeing Mystic or Ultimate Gohan beating up on Super Buu, Gotenks has never looked more badass, ever. I was just had a huge smile on my face when Goku eventually finishes off Majin Buu with the Genki Dama. Absolutely incredible. This is worth watching just for the art because there's some real talented people on this show, y'all. And we knew it, but seeing it in action was incredible stuff. And so the whole thing is these demons, it's Gomah and Degesu watching the events of the Buu Saga, and Dr. Arinsu is there, but she's kind of in the shadows. Now, back in July, I discussed that this was going to be sort of like a, I don't want to say Game of Thrones, but Gomah is supposed to be the next Demon King of the Demon Realm, because Dabura died, right? He was killed by Majin Buu. And even though it seems like they're all on his side, you can tell that they're not. And that goes back to the report that I had gotten earlier in the summer about how people do not want Gomah to be the Demon King. And this is going to lead to some kind of betrayal or something down the road. I do not have details on that yet exactly, but I'm not sure that Gomah's actually the true final villain of this show. I'm saying that not as a spoiler, as a guess. I genuinely do not know. Now, we were wondering for a while who the composer was of the music, who's doing the background music. And back on Monday, me and Black and Fist, and make sure you check that show out, the Super Magic Show, episode 1, we were discussing who was going to be the composer because the show was days away and they didn't announce the composer. Again, the promotion for this show has been really, really strange. Also, if you're wondering how to watch this show, because I know some of you still don't know, it's going to be on Crunchyroll Fridays at 1 p.m. subtitled. Then it'll be on Netflix the following week. The 18th, I think, is when it's going to be on Netflix. Next week, I believe. And the English dub will be in November. So if you're waiting for the dub, it's in November. I recommend just watching the sub because we want to all get caught up. And plus, I'm going to be doing videos on this on the events of Daima and things of that nature. So we did find out who the composer is. Finally, they said it in the opening credits of the show, and it's Kosuke Yamashita. Now, the music for Daima sounds quite a bit like JRPG music. It actually sounds more like Dragon Quest Dai than anything else. But this guy, Kosuke Yamashita, he has worked on stuff like Digimon Extros War, Xenosaga, the animation, and he worked on Kamen Rider and Super Sentai shows. So he's got experience. He was brought in to do the music for Daima. So now we know. I don't know what's up with Sumitomo. I don't know what's up with Naoki Sato, who did Superhero. His Godzilla Minus One soundtrack was incredible. I bought it on vinyl. But this is the composer. Now, also, the episode was a bit longer than your traditional Dragon Ball episode, 40 minutes. This is because originally, remember, when it was Dragon Ball Magic a year ago, it was supposed to be a streaming anime only. And then Fuji TV came along once Toriyama passed away and said, well, we want to air it on a different time slot. So it's not airing at the same time as Dragon Ball Super was. But I'm not sure if Fuji got in because of the passing of Toriyama or if they just wanted the show because they knew it would be a big hit. I'm not sure. Originally, Fuji did not want Daima, from what I understand, right? I wasn't there, but from what I understand, they didn't want it. Now it's going to be on Fuji on Fridays and then on Crunchyroll and then later Netflix. So it's still a streaming show for us. For the Japanese, though, it's going to be on TV, on Fuji TV, as well as on I think it's on Amazon Prime in Japan. But yeah, if you want to watch it, Crunchyroll first, then Netflix. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. That's internal, but that's the place to watch Daima, subtitled and then later dubbed when that time comes. So about the episode. Okay, so the episode was 32 minutes long. I think I said 38 earlier, and that was my bad. That was I misspoke. 32 minutes long, and I also said that they showed scenes of the Buu arc. They showed a little bit of stuff from earlier in the series, like the Raditz and like a little tiny bit of stuff from prior. It all looked great. Then we had the stuff from the Majin Buu arc. So there were a few things that were revealed in this episode that we have been talking about for quite some time. First of all, the Namekians. Okay, this has been speculated for years. In the manga, it says that the Namekians are from another realm, right? And a lot of people think it's the demon realm because we had Demon King Piccolo at one point, and he proclaimed himself the Demon King. But then we had Dabura later. And so I had always thought that the Demon King was just a title. No, ladies and gentlemen, it was confirmed that the Namekians are originally from the demon realm. Now, that obviously raises a few questions. Number one, when did the Namekians come from the demon realm to the mortal realm, and to planet Namek? And number two, does that mean that the Universe 6 Namekians are also from their demon realm? Does that confirm that there's a demon realm in Universe 6? I would assume there is, but we've never been told that. So the lore that Toriyama has given us is ever expanding, and hopefully they'll explain it. Second of all, let's talk about the curse. So Toriyama's original statement was that there was a curse, and that they became minified, like chibified, kids, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, everybody else. That's not what happened here. That was not what happened. I'm not sure why he said that, but they used the Dragon Balls. About a year ago, I was told that it was going to be the curse from Toriyama and that they were going to use the Dragon Balls to try to reverse the curse, but that's not what happened here. Gomah, Degesu, and Neba, who is the Namekian from the Demon Realm, all went and summoned Shenron, and so it wasn't a curse, and that's how they became mini in this episode. Also, the assumption from me was that the Kaioshin and Kibito defusion happened because of this curse. And that is not what was revealed here. Instead, we find out that the Supreme Kai and Kibito defusion happened because Majin Buu absorbed them and allowed them to defuse inside of his body. Remember, Vegeta defused inside of Majin Buu's body. However, in Dragon Ball Super, they told us that, well, if you're fused Potaras and you're immortal, you're going to unfuse in an hour, right? That was the retcon from Super. But that means that when Vegeta went inside of Buu, it wasn't the 1 hour mark at all. It wasn't. It was just that Majin Buu's demonic powers were able to break the Kaioshin, godly power of the Potara. So that is, I like that, honestly, but it does raise a big question. So in Dragon Ball Super, which takes place after this, because this episode takes place 1 year after the Majin Buu saga on Trunks' 9th birthday. Now, I revealed that about a month and a half ago on Twitter. I don't remember if I said it on YouTube, y'all, but as you know, I've been dropping a lot of bombshells of news about Daima. And so we have that confirmation once again. And basically, what I'm wondering is in Dragon Ball Super, right, Supreme Kai tells Goku in the Universe 6 arc that he unfused because of the Dragon Balls. They use the Dragon Balls to unfuse. So that would mean, because Daima takes place prior to Super, that would mean that at some point, the Supreme Kai and Kibito would be fused again. That's what that means. Because remember, this is before Battle of Gods. And Battle of Gods, anime, manga, and movie, shows the Supreme Kai and Kibito fused. So there you go. That was very, very interesting. That would mean they're going to have to fuse at some point later on in the series. Probably by the end of the series, I'm going to assume. Near the very end is when they're going to unfuse. So that's an interesting tidbit. So I'm glad that was addressed in this very first episode of Daima. So I want to get into some details about the episode. The episode was called Conspiracy. That's episode 1. Interestingly enough, they didn't use the double titles that Dragon Ball Z and Super used. They went back to simple one-episode titles, and that surprises me. So there, again, we talk about the demons there. They're saying that Dabura was a disgrace. We confirm that they have their own balls and their own Namekians. And Degesu coronates Gomah, even though you can tell he doesn't really like him. So we find out, and this is something that I kind of suspected, but I didn't know for sure, that Dr Arinsu, which is the female Makaioshin, is Degesu's sister. And before Dabura went off with Babidi, he supported Dr. Arinsu's research. Now, I talked about in my leak video from a few weeks ago, the controversial one about what Dr. Arinsu wants to create. So check that video out if you want to know. I don't want to go into that as a spoiler for later. Not too far later, but later on. So again, don't, check it out if you want to, but I'm not going to go in too deep into it. So we find out about the Tamagamis, which I also talked about in the trailer breakdown, and they are guardians of the Dragon Balls. So Gomah wants to use the Earth Balls to make them younger and turn them into children because he thinks they're too powerful. Now, this is something I did not know about. There's apparently some kind of artifact called the Tertiary Oculus that's supposed to give you a third eye. It was passed down from generation to generation from Dabura's father, Abura, to him, and now Gomah wants it. So this is an artifact that is brand new to Dragon Ball. Again, if you like lore, Toriyama's giving you a bunch of it. So, besides that, Neba, the evil Namekian, its subtitles call him Neva, but it's the same thing. So they want to use the Earth Dragon Balls. And it's funny. So they all hop on this ship. And this is how you know Toriyama for sure approved this script. Remember, guys, for Daima, Toriyama wrote an outline. Then he had the writers of Toei write each individual episode. And then he double-checked them. And that's something he had never done before for an anime outside of the recent 3 movies. So Gomah's complaining about Neba's smell because he hasn't showered in a long time. I thought that was funny. Before they leave the demon realm, they're stopped by this giant, fish-looking thing who needs a pin number, but he lets them through. It's like a portal. It's almost like the fish is like a portal to the regular realm. So, Goku, they're having the party at Trunks' house, the 9th birthday. Goku eats so much he looks pregnant. And they have an awesome Goku and Vegeta sparring session, which is in all the trailers. It's gorgeous, man. Nakatsuru and the whole crew is just gorgeous with this art and this fight. The fights are going to be so dope in this show. So the demons arrive at Dende and Popo's place, and then Neba's all shocked because he has not seen a Namekian in ages. He's been in the demon realm the whole time. So Gomah wants to use the Dragon Balls, and if Neba can get him the balls, right, he can extend his life by 1,000 years. Very, very cool ability. Very cool. So Neba actually uses dark Namekian magic to summon the balls to him, like magnetize them. But right now they're regular stones because of a wish that was made. But Neba is able to actually unlock the Dragon Balls. He's got some Namekian magic where even if the balls are made of stone, he can unlock them and activate them, and that's what he does. Then Dende's like, I'm not going to give you the password, but Degesu is like, no, we watched you on our screen. We took notes. And for those of you, I didn't mention this earlier, but when they're watching the stuff from the Buu saga, it's almost like DVR because they're able to fast forward, rewind. Like, that was funny. Just fun Toriyama stuff. Like, if you know Toriyama from Slump or Dragon Ball, the dude is a comedic writer first and an action writer second. And when he first started writing manga, he didn't even know he could be a good action writer. It was his editor that told him, hey, you should do more kung fu. And that's how Dragon Ball became what it was. So what happens is they summon the dragon. Dende tries to stop him, but he gets hit by Degesu. And basically the wish is to turn everyone who fought Majin Buu into children and their friends. And then Shenlong is like, what about the ones that are already kids? He's like, make them into babies. So everyone's going to be a first grader, but the people who are already kids, like Trunks and Goten, are going to be little babies. So it happens, we hear the intro song to the show, and we have a list of credits, like a black screen with credits going up, which again, feels more like a movie. And then we have, it's a one shot. It's not a full next episode preview. It's just one shot of Glorio. And it basically states that next week's episode, episode 2 of Dragon Ball Daima, is going to be called Glorio. So I like this a lot. The lore is phenomenal. I cannot wait. To see more and see what happens in the demon realm, meet more of the characters, and see where this goes. There are a lot of things that I know about that I have not revealed purposely because I don't want to ruin the show for everybody. But there's some big stuff coming up, especially in a couple months, that I don't want to get into. But look forward to it. Dragon Ball Daima, I mean, it's not what I would have done. If I were in charge, I would have just continued Super from the Moro arc and made it seasonal. But I've talked in the past about why they don't want that. So, I mean, this is what we got, but my God, it's oozing with Toriyama comedy, beautiful art. It's definitely worth watching if you're on the fence. At least watch the first episode and look at how beautiful the Buu Saga stuff is and how funny the characters are. And you may give it a chance. I mean, again, they're doing something different. It's too long to be a movie, but give it a shot. Let's see if you like it. So, anyways, y'all, I'm gonna head off. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see if I can review next week's episode from where I'm at, depending on what happens down here. So take care of yourself and your loved ones, and I'll see you real soon, guys. Take care.